Welcome to the Golf Parent.
What you say?
So let's say now Scott's getting serious around 14, 16-ish. Like, what do you wish that you would have learned around those years that you think that maybe would have served you? Like that now that you wish you would have learned back then?
Well, I wish I would have been able to just take basically all of the books that are sitting behind you and compile them down into cliff notes and then apply them to golf. And that's essentially what I've tried to do is, I was a total hothead lunatic all the way through the age of 30 when I finally quit playing professional golf. I mean, I was just picture whoever is the biggest hothead you can imagine. I was worse than that person by a mile. Like it's pretty interesting looking back at it because it's like you're not actually incapable of not being mad. It's a show for everybody else that you're better than this. Like I'm better than this. Look, I'm really mad right now because this is unacceptable to me. Like it literally is a show for everyone else. It's not like you're incapable of controlling yourself from throwing a golf club or screaming cuss words. It is purely a show, and everyone else is hoping you played worse. So you're literally doing it in front of people that are a captive audience rooting against you. I mean, for the most
And that's
part.
interesting. So in a way, you're basically showing people that you actually care, that this actually matters to you, and that's why you're throwing that the anger tantrum.
And that you're better than that. I just
Yeah.
want to make sure everyone knows that, I'm shooting 78 here today. This is unacceptable to me. I'm a much better player than this. So what the first thing young Scott need to know is like, hey, dude, you don't have to get mad. Like, take a bunch of those books back there, Mindset and The Power of Habit. And I mean, I can just count them off behind you. They're all great. And just understand you don't need to act that way. Because if you act that way, like, hey, you're just going to, this game is so hard, it's ridiculous. It's actually a bit of a paradox. Golf is so hard that you have to play it correctly, and then once you're playing it correctly for your skill level, it's just not that hard. Because it's so hard. Like once you understand that, which I get that most people are like, that makes absolutely no sense. It just you have to play with proper strategy, and once you're playing with proper strategy, a green. I mean, some of the numbers are comical. I'm pretty sure the numbers from 150 yards, a tour player has a better chance of hitting it outside 40 feet than inside 10 feet. I mean, so if you
Huh.
now just start thinking everything in life is normal distribution curves. And so just start throwing normal distribution curves from the hole out to 60 feet. And the majority of it is going to be between 10 and 40 feet, but there's going to be a longer tail outside of 40 than inside of 10. And just there's certain numbers like that where you just can't.
Give me some more of those, Scott, because that's fascinating, and I know people love that. What else do you have that just blows your mind when you actually see a stat where we think, like you always see, like as an amateur, we miss a 6 foot putt and we get angry, like, oh, I should have made that, but should we? Like, really, is that? So, what other stats do you love to throw out there?
I think 165 yards in the fairway was where the average par on PGA Tour. Like from 165 hit in the fairways, it's not hard to hit the green on at a tour level. Sure, if the green is narrow, but most greens again are 20, 22, 23 yards wide. It's just not that hard to hit the green. And then once you're really good at two putting from 20 to 40 feet, averaging less than three from 165 is not hard to do. And again, I'm literally talking about the best players in the world here, so take all of this with a grain of salt. 100 yards, they average 200ths of a shot over par. So, like, if you put them in the rough at 100 yards, they're averaging over par from there. 8 feet is 50-50. 32 feet on a make rate from a putt. 32 feet is where they average two putts to hole out. 100 yards in the fairway is 2.8. Like, there's just some numbers.
2.8, what?
2.8
Like
strokes.
below 3?
Yeah, I mean, so if I put a tour player, an average tour player in the fairway at 100 yards and they hit 100 shots, they should average roughly 2.8 to hole out. It's not 2.5 or some crazy number. They're averaging birdie a little bit over 20% of the time, and they're making a couple of bogeys here and there. It's just some of those numbers. It's just the guys finishing first to fifth place on the PGA Tour average making one bogey per day inside of 150 yards. I mean, inside 150, making a bogey every single day, you can't make enough birdies to offset those little slip ups. It's just literally not possible.
So, okay.
Mark Brody's book, Every Shot Counts, is worth reading. Again, if this conversation, if you've made it this far now, just only 25 minutes in, Mark Brody's book is just a must read to understand strokes gained and how it all works.
100%. Okay, so what would you suggest that we say to help maybe our juniors understand that one, they have to care, and that they should think that they have that kind of tiger mindset, that they tiger, not necessarily Tiger Woods, but just that tiger mindset that they should be able to make the shot. But it's also okay if they don't. Like, how do we balance that, where we want them to be dialed in and focused and visualizing and making sure that every single time that they're really trying to make that, whatever it might be, that 30-foot putt or whatever, but then also letting out the pressure a little bit to be like, it's okay, even the tours miss from that area. Like, how do we
Well,
balance
that's where I
that?
think that having a realistic set of expectations is. So if you told me, we're going to try to make this 30-footer, I'd be like, well, you're not going to be very good at that 30-footer then, because you're not going to leave enough short. From 30 feet, you should leave half of your putts short, because what we're doing from 30 feet, especially in junior golf, we're not optimizing make rates. We're optimizing how many times can I two putt this. And in order to do that, we need to optimize the length of our second putt. And we accomplish that by leaving half of our putt short. So we want to blanket that hole literally half long and half short. So if this is the hole, this will be a little bit tough, but if I've got from 30 feet, I'm going to have, probably a 10 for a junior golfer, a 10 foot. So this right here is 10 feet. If I only leave a third short, well, I'm going to have some putts from 7, 8, 9 feet coming back. But if I leave half of them short, I'm going to have 5 feet or less every single time, with a whole bunch. The middle of that distribution curve is going to be inside of 3 feet, which is basically a tap in.